Hey everybody, Steve Vigil again here for another little series of, about private lending. As if you've been following me and you're watching my videos, one of the things I'm very passionate about is private lending. That's what we have always done as real estate investors, not only from the borrowing side, but from the lending side as well. And we do a lot of great things out there, and we've been doing that for many years. And it's really a fantastic avenue. It has been for us. And I think just educating you more and more on the things that we do might interest you in going down that path. Like everything that we do, especially when it comes to private lending, I always want to make sure that everybody knows that I'm teaching based on my experiences. I'm not an attorney and I'm not an accountant. I'm not a CPA. So anything that you do from the borrower side, from the lender side, make sure you do your due diligence and always get professional advice when needed. That is very, very important. So you want to make sure that you always do that. But I've been doing some series. A lot of the series and videos I've already done have been from the lender standpoint. So what I want to do is I want to do some videos from the borrower standpoint. Now, when I do my videos, I go back and forth on some of the slides because I know both sides of it. And I think it's important to teach from both sides. But I want to do a little bit more of a series kind of geared towards that borrower, making sure that we have a good, solid, ethical, honest borrower as we're looking for these lenders, because it's very important to be very honest and ethical on that side of it as well. So let me go here and share my screen real quick. Maybe, there we go. Okay, so, financial freedom, that's really what this is all about. This is what our goal is trying to get to financial freedom by building wealth. But to build wealth, what do we have to do? We've got to purchase assets. We've got to accumulate equity, and we've got to be able to fund our purchases. We've got to be able to fund our deals. And there's a lot of ways we can fund deals. Just because I'm teaching and talking about private lending, there are other ways to fund deals as well. There are hard money lenders out there. There's banks, there's mortgage companies. There's a million different ways to find money. And I want you to, figure out what works for you best. But if you're someone like myself that likes to use private lenders, this is really, really important. But it's really important that, these are kind of the path of where we're going and what we want to do by doing that. So, obtaining funding is our ticket to financial freedom, period. We've got to have the funding. We can have deals all day long, but if we can't get the funding for it, we're dead in the water. There's nothing we can do. And most people think the funding is the hard part of the deal, when really done right, funding is the easiest part of the deal. If you've got the good deal, the funding is easy to find. There's a lot of people that will fund your deals. So we kind of have to think about that. And one of the things that we need to do in doing that is our mindset. We really need to think about our mindset, because this is probably the most important part of trying to become a borrower with private lenders. So how do you feel about raising money? Because that's what we're doing. We're going out and raising money. It's much different than going to the bank or going to a hard money lender, filling out an application and seeing if you qualify. This is a whole different ball game. We're not going out and qualifying the traditional way by any means. So how do you feel about talking to friends, family, co-workers about private lending? Most people are going to freeze right here. They're going to say, absolutely no way would I ever talk to my family, my friends, or any co-workers about private lending. And if that's who you are, then you're gonna be stopped right here. You're gonna have a hard time, because this is actually, in many cases, not every case, but in many cases, this is our place. This is a place where you've already built trust with most of these people, and if they do have money available that they're trying to get to work, this could be a very good avenue. But your approach is everything. If you're just going and asking for money, you're probably going to get shut down right away. And that is not the way to go about doing it. It's not what I ever have done. And we'll talk about that more as we go through this. It's about your mindset and your attitude. You must believe in what you're saying. If you don't believe in what you're saying, how are you going to convince anybody that if you can't convince yourself, how are you going to convince them? That's not going to happen. And for me, it was very important to I don't go out and ask for money. I never have. And actually, my very first lender was a family member. I got them involved from the standpoint of just showing them what I was doing, teaching them what I was doing, explaining everything that I did, deal after deal after deal after deal. Now, at the beginning, I was just wholesaling, but that didn't matter. I was explaining what I was doing. And when I would wholesale the property, I was explaining what the rehabber would do, or the guy buying that property to keep it as a rental property would do. I just kept explaining and kept educating. And after several months, that family member came back to me and said, how can we get involved with you? How can we maybe do something here? Well, that gave me an open door to start moving forward, looking to find that very good rehab property that we could do business together. So when I talk about this stuff, this is what I mean. This is not going out and asking your family or your coworkers to borrow money. That's never been my method, and that never will be my method. It's educating them and explaining to them how the process works. So quick little tips here that are very, very important. And in the beginning, when you're thinking about trying to talk to someone about, being a private lender, this is what you need to think about. I mean, educate on what you're doing, educate on the people around you, what they're doing, how the process works, how the deals work, how the numbers work. And it will make all the difference in the world. And don't go ask them for money, just teach them. And if they're really interested, at some point, they're going to come back to you. It's not going to work for everybody, but those that it does, we have, been able to raise millions and millions of dollars to do all of our deals, all through private funds. Family members, friends, people we met weren't friends to begin with and have built great relationships with, all kinds of methods. So this is the beginning of the series for you guys that want to borrow money as a private lender. So if this is good information, please let me know. Give me a thumbs up, follow us on Facebook, share this with your friends. And we're going to have a whole little series here for all of you borrowers. So I look forward to seeing you again real soon.